I wanted to talk about how you can be an artist, why you would want to be an artist, and that's honestly it. Um, why you want to be an artist and can anyone be an artist? So jump right into it. Now, this was a ramble. There's no edits. There's no cuts. We're just jumping right in. I think it's important that everyone explore some sort of creative aspect of themselves. Whether that be your hands, mathematics, something. Yes, mathematics can be creative. Jesus Christ, if you've seen some of those formulas. Um, but I digress. You need to be, you need to explore, and what better way to explore it rather than to be creative? And I feel like when people think of creative, they think of these amazing illustrations, works, and these crazy things that they are, and they are those things. But they can also be other things. You can write, that's creative. You can scribble, that's fucking creative. You can burn things. I feel like creativity is literally just you attempting to express yourself in a form, some shape or form. Um, sorry, I'm tired. Um, yeah, no, you can be creative. Um, and I think that people should want to be creative. Creativity releases stress. And even like something as simple sports, that is creative. How are you gonna get the ball down the court? Switch it up. Be creative. How are you gonna get past four dudes and you got the football? That's creative. Get creative. I just think that people need to stop making creativity this thing, this profit, this idea of I must be the best, you know? Sometimes that's not what creativity is. It's competition. That's not creativity. Um, and I feel like with the rise of AI, people are being less and less creative. Um, and it just drove me for a fucking loop, you know? Yeah, drawing's hard and so much easier. A couple prompts, boom, you got a picture. Even if you look past the stealing and corporations use it to be greedy little fucks, um, don't you want to be creative? You don't want to be? Like, you don't gotta be Picasso, but you don't want to explore your own creativity. I just think that's not fair. You should explore that, not for the sake of anyone else except for yourself. But yes, that's why I think you should want to be an artist, because an artist can be anything. You can be anything. You can, I don't know, you just become this creative, emotional person and enjoy it. And of course, everyone's different. They have their preferences, but it doesn't mean you can't. It's whether you want to. And maybe your creativity, like I said, isn't in the arts. Maybe it's basketball, maybe it's football, maybe it's hockey. Fuck it. Maybe it's coding. How are you going to get creative? Your functions aren't working. Your get ready function, not working. It's not computing. Get creative. What are you going to do about that? Trying to instantiate something into a scene, it's not working. Get creative. That's creativity. Everybody is creative. You just what it is everyone's not artistic, and that's okay. There's tons of artists that aren't artistic, and they're still producing art, either to become artistic or because they want to explore themselves or they want to express themselves. They have a favorite ship. Who gives a fuck? They took the chance to be creative. I feel like if we worried about creativity instead of production, we would be happier as people. It's just a personal opinion. I'm going to move on to the second topic. Um, which kind of ties in there first, but it's a ramble, so you know what you were getting to when you clicked on it. Next question is, can anybody be an artist? And I think the answer is yes. Um, if you have something to say, something to show, something you feel, that makes you an artist. Um, when you understand the craft that you're working with, that makes you an artist, regardless of the craft. Unless it's AI, then I don't know what to tell you. Fucking get off your computer. Um, but you can once you understand those little things about like some workflow that you have, I think that makes you an artist because you really do need to. A good artist isn't someone who makes these elaborate pieces of art. um Or I take that back. A good artist isn't someone that settles. Um, and I don't mean you settle for what people give you. You settle for how you expressed yourself. That's a good artist. Um, and to be a good artist, you need to understand your craft so that you can express yourself. That you want to express yourself in whatever way, shape, and form is possible. And once you figure that out, you're an artist. And if you do it well enough, you're a good artist. I feel like there's a lot of bad artists, not because their art sucks, just because they aren't doing those things that are necessary to be a good artist. And this isn't a shot at production art, by the way. I think it's a beautiful thing. I wish I was more skilled at it. But I feel as though people, it's all about production. You want to go quick, you want to be fast, you want it done, you got a timeline, you've got a deadline. Um, and that's good. That's, you want to get it out, see for the people to watch. Boom, now you're getting paid. But that just makes you someone that does art. I feel like you're an artist when you're doing your own personal stuff. What are you working on at home? I don't care if it's a sketchbook full of doodles. What is your feelings? How are you feeling? You must be feeling something, like looking at the state of the world and stuff. I'm gonna hurry it up a little because I'm sitting at 2 minutes and I want to get this done in three. Um, but you can be an artist. Anyone can be an artist. And how can anyone be an artist? Again, I'm tracking back. You just need to understand the workflow. You understand how to communicate. You need to understand what it is exactly you want to communicate. And I feel like figuring out those things really change you and the art and the way you view people. You'll not because they're like, oh, they're any better than they were before, but because now you're seeing them as an artist. You know, that guy fucking chopping wood on Instagram. Yeah, artist. Yeah, he was an artist. He was carving wood. All he carved was a spoon, but does that not make him an artist? Yes, it's to fix a function or it's for a function, but that doesn't make him any less of an artist. He had an idea, something he needed to express, nor he needed, and he made it. He understood the craft well enough to make it, and I think that is what makes you an artist. And if you can do that, you can be an artist. So, when exploring art, I think the biggest and most important thing is to explore. Explore why you're making it, explore what it means to you, explore your feelings, explore, explore, explore. Because if you don't explore any of those things, is it really art? It's just as cheap as AI art to me. Um, you can't explore yourself. I guess that goes a little beyond art, but that's what art means to me: is to explore, to experience, to draw, to understand. Um, you understand the technique, you can understand the colors, you can understand why an artist did something that they did, understand the composition, but you eventually will understand what it is that you're trying to portray, the story you're trying to tell, the emotion you're trying to get out. And I feel like without that, you really start to lose meaning as an artist. And I hope that other people do the same things, like they explore those little simple things, because sometimes the little things do matter. Um, you need to explore and you need to grow and hopefully understand in your own little way. It doesn't have to be the same way everyone else is doing it. Just, as long as you're doing it, who cares? Okay, that was my little rant. I'm gonna go lay down and take a nap. Stop having an existential crisis. I'm Little Fish. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk.